Hey guys, welcome back to Keeping Up with the Kinneys. I'm Matt.
I'm Jade.
And thank you for tuning into this video. This is going to be video number 6 of our series of the baby step breakdown, where we break down all the baby steps that we've learned from Dave Ramsey and the principles and how they work and how we have succeeded by following them. So baby step 5, we're going to talk about how to save for your children's college fund. So we're going to get into how to save the money, what you should save, and what different factors and things you need to think about.
And talk to with your kids.
Yeah, about what to do for their future and their college.
Yep.
So
without further ado, let's get into this video.
Okay, so we can't talk about college and school without the obvious. Debt, right? There's $1.6 trillion of student loan debt in this country right now.
So crazy.
Which, at the time the making of this video, I'm sure it's probably more, but it goes hand in hand. So that brings me to the next point of, you as a parent, we're not parents yet.
It's true.
This is just our mindset of what are we going to need to do, which common sense will tell you. Are you going to help your kid pay for college? Is your kid on your own? Where's your kid going? And how much is it going to cost? That's what everyone wants to know. You know, college books cost. Might as well just chop off your arm and give them that because it costs a fortune. So depends on where your child wants to go and where you want them to go is going to dictate how much you need to save, which ultimately this is what we're talking about, is how much you are going to need.
And the ways to save for it. So there are kind of two ways that we can go about it. There is, you just save money and you put it in like a high interest savings account, right? So you're just chunking away however much you feel, you want to help your kid out. So you have 18 years to save. The other way is opening up something like a 529. Which is specifically for saving for college and education. So that is, in and of itself, an investment fund that will grow as you put money into it. So of the two choices, if you're going to save for your kids' college, a 529 is a perfect choice because you actually get great tax advantages. You don't pay tax taken out as long as it is used for education.
Yes.
So it's kind of a win-win, no-brainer, as long as you start early enough that you are actually going to make a difference, because not a lot of money adds up over 18 years.
So to kind of add on to that, you're going to have to talk and have a talk with your children and figure out what are your expectations of your kids and what are they expecting from you. Are they expecting for you as a mom or a dad to pay for their college? Do you want them to have straight A's? Do you want them to pay for half? Do you want them to work while they're in college? These are all things that are going to have to get brought up and are going to affect what they do.
Yeah.
So one thing with 529s though is you put them in one beneficiary's name.
Yeah.
But if that beneficiary, i.e. being one of your children, decides not to go to college, you can't roll that over. You can change the beneficiary's name.
Correct.
Yes, you can't roll it into
a
Roth IRA and still get the benefits of why I don't have to pay taxes, putting the money in or taking it out.
Correct.
It takes away that incentive, that advantage, those benefits.
But it is a benefit that you can change the beneficiary's name, especially since a 529 can actually be used for a couple different things. So just because your kid's not going to college doesn't necessarily mean that they can't use it. If they're going into a trade, if the trade school or the apprenticeship that they're going to is accredited by the U.S. Department of Labor, it can actually be used for that. So it's not just it pays for tuition and books. It also, if your kid goes to, let's say, community college, but you saved quite a bit more money than for them to just go to community college, they can use it on books, tuition, but they can also use it on technology, which includes like downloading Microsoft onto their computer, the couple $100 for that, a new computer for school, it counts for that, printers for school, you know, it can even pay for like things like their internet service for school if they're doing online education courses. So it covers actually quite a bit of stuff. And like I said, even if they don't go to college, it still can pay for an apprenticeship,
which is still a form of education.
Correct.
So it's all covered.
And then it can also be used for K through 12 private school, up to $10,000 a year. So if you're sending your kids to a private school, or you know that you are, like when they're born, you know that I'm going to send my kid to private school, then start putting into a 529, and then you can take out that money that's grown for 5 or 6 years and start using that to pay for their early childhood education.
It's all just planning ahead is all it is, right? You know, because come time, 5 years, your kid's 5 years old, and I want to send them to private school, but we can't afford it. Well, if you think ahead.
Think about the future.
Set yourself up, and if you want to send your kid to private school, you can.
Well, yeah, I went to Vanguard's website, and they actually have quite a bit of information on 529s. So if you put in $100 a month for 18 years, we're going off of that because that's normally when your kid would go to college, is when they're 18 years old, and it grew for that amount of time. You putting in $300 a month would get you in returns, if you got 6% returns on your investment, it would be about $127, a little bit over that, $1,000.
Which is a good amount of money.
That can pay for a 4-year education.
Yeah, easily. Not going to an Ivy League, but...
Correct.
Yes, but that's a lot. That's good money.
That's more than
what's
enough.
$100, or $300 a month, or $75 a week? That's... Yeah. I believe that would be affordable.
But even if you don't want to contribute that, say you want to contribute a third of that, $25 a week or $100 a month, you would still be able to send your kid to in-state school. You would have about $42,000 in your fund over the 18 years with 6% returns, would be about $42,000. That is completely reasonable for a in-state local school. So yes, this is correct. It's not an in-state but pay for room and board school, but it would pay for the local college that is closest to you where you're not paying for room and board. So, and then the in-between of if you spend or put in $200 a month, you're going to have about $90,000.
Just do the math.
In the same time.
Do the math. So if you're
So maybe you have a smaller amount that you want to put in than those two numbers, so you'll have less, or 3 numbers, then you'll have less than $42,000, but maybe you have more. You might need to save more money. If you're wanting your kid to go to a more expensive school, then you're going to need to save more money than that. But there are also some other options that aren't even a 529 that we'll get into. All right, so your other options are, well, if you're in Missouri like we are, you have the A+ program. Although I don't know the names of it in other places, I'm sure that there are things like it. So I took advantage of this because my parents forced me to. And it is 2 free years of community college. I was adamantly opposed to going to community college. It's where I met this guy, so I'm glad that I went. But I was so not for it because I wanted the college experience. I wanted to go away, and my parents were like, fine, then you're going to pay for school by yourself.
Yeah, so go ahead and get the college experience and come out with the debt.
Exactly. And that was the only way that I was, if I wanted to go to Mizzou or UMKC, these other schools that were further away, I was going to have to pay for room and board plus tuition at all of these places. So I chose the more financially responsible route because I had never paid for school up until this point. Why was I going to pay for it now?
Yeah.
So I went to community college for 2 years, and it helped me grow as a person. I didn't have the best grades in high school. I was an average student at best. I mean, a little bit above average, like had like a 3.2 GPA, but nothing that would have gotten me scholarships. And community college allowed me time to get myself to a point where I got scholarships, which is the other option that you have and that you should make your kids fill out. I had the self-direction to do it myself. Not everyone does. So start researching different types of scholarships for your kid and be like, here are applications. There's so much work. But
she spent hours on these things, and it's one of those things. If you have the drive and
it's free money,
foresight to do it now, and you want to stop being a baby and do it, it can save you a lot of money in the long run. But some people want to be lazy now, and then they're gonna wish and say, "Yeah, I wish I would have done it."
But it's free money. Like any scholarship application, I filled out ones that were for $500. They covered one book for the semester. Who even cares? It covered something for me. I filled out ones that literally said, if you have another scholarship, you can't apply for this one. I still filled it out, and you know what? No one else did, so I got it. There were a couple scholarships that were like that, where it said, if you need to meet these criteria. And I didn't meet all the criteria, but you know what? I filled them out anyways, because a paragraph of writing or whatever it asked of me, it was worth the $1,200, $1,300. All of these little scholarships add up. And I also was able to get a full ride scholarship. So some of these scholarships were just money. So I had money to pay for car repairs and other things outside of just my expenses for school, because I just applied all the time for different scholarships. I would log on to websites. I would log on to the school's website. I would go ask the financial aid people, what can I apply for? What scholarships are there? They're not just going to fall in your lap. You are going to have to put in work as a parent or as a student to find these. They're not just going to be like, poof, here it is. Here's $20,000.
And if you're a parent that says, I'm going to pay for 100% of my kids' college, and you don't want your kids to try to get scholarships, well, that you're spending more money than necessary.
Also, if you have a 529 and that happens, like you have your kid do scholarships, you can deduct out of the 529 however much that they have gotten in the scholarship. So they get a full ride, then you can withdraw that $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 out of there.
So you're not losing anything.
Correct. There is no disadvantage to doing these accounts. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed this video, learned a little bit about what you can do for your kiddos, what we're planning on doing for our future kiddos. Start early. It's so much easier, like anything in life. If you start early,
$20 a paycheck's a lot better than $100 now.
It just
$20 over a month.
It shouldn't be my kid's 17. Oh my gosh, I need to come up with $20,000 a year to pay for their education. It should be, okay, we've got this. We've been saving since you were born. Like literally the day after my kid's born, I'm gonna go open them up at 529.
But remember, these are all baby steps meant to be done in order, and they come as a package.
Correct.
I feel like I do this a lot. Like this is my go-to. It comes as a package wrapped tightly with a cute little bow. So if you follow the baby steps, you're out of debt. You have fully funded emergency fund. You're starting investing. Now you're on baby step 5. So just remember, it's meant to be done in order, meant to be done together.
Yeah. And 4, 5, and 6 are meant to be done at the same time. So you're going to save for your own retirement, plus your kids' college, and pay off your house. All at the same time. You can do it.
You're going to have to come back to the next video to learn about baby step 6. So thank you. Please like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Ask us any questions if you have them. And hope you guys have a great day, have a great week, and we'll see you on Monday.
Bye.
Bye.